Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
It was asked in 2013. Even though it is a very old question, there is a scope or relevance for this question to repeat, because it is about the FRBM Act. For it is, I will just give the simple crux of what is this FRBM Act. Okay, so the government, consider that the government is spending on the people. For example, the government is continuously doing the spending on the people, like they are providing free metro services and also even free railway services. Okay, so also unemployment benefits, huge subsidies. Okay, so if the government is continuously doing that, so how the people will evaluate the government? They think that this government is doing the good to the society, so it is a good government. You will have the different picture of that government, because the government is continuously spending on you. But in reality, what if that money is borrowed one? If it is a borrowed one, means it is going to be end up on you as a taxes in their future process. Okay, in the near future it will be end as like a taxes on you, heavy taxes. Consider that if it is a 30% tax, or else it's a 20% tax on the essential goods like medicine, like food, means how will you survive? Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, for that only they created the FRBM Act. So by this FRBM Act, you will get the clear picture of the government spending process. Okay, from where they are getting the money, whether they earned that money or else they borrowed that money. If it is earned money, means it is not an issue. What if that money is borrowed one? So if they are going to borrow that money, means they have to repay that money, or else they have to pay the continuous interest for that. Okay, that is called as debt servicing. So for all that, what they will do is they will increases the taxes. So that is going to be end up on you. So to get a transparent picture of how the government is earning money and where they are spending that money, they created a certain act called as FRBM Act. Okay, so it is nothing but the Fiscal Responsibility and the Budget Management Act. It was passed in 2003, and also this act gives certain targets to the government. So the certain targets are like reducing their borrowings, okay, and then increasing their spending on the capitals, reducing their spending on the revenue expenditures, like continuously government is increasing the salaries of the government employee. It is like a vote bank politics. Okay, for getting the votes, what they will do is they will increase their salaries, or they will give the hope to the people that if you vote for me, I will be the next government, so I will going to increase your salaries. So in reality, now it has become as a vote bank politics. So you can get a clear picture of the government by this FRBM Act. So this FRBM Act created certain targets to the government to reduce their borrowing activities and also increases their spending activities on the capitals. So this is the structure that is followed by the FRBM Act. The question is about what were the reasons for the introduction of the FRBM Act. Simple as that, we discussed it now. Next, discuss critically its salient features and their effectiveness. So first, this is a what type question. Next, critically discuss. If it is critically discuss, means, see, in discuss process means you have to say, discuss means it's nothing but you and your friend are discussing certain things. Okay, so in that process you will speak everything. So you have to speak about everything related to the FRBM Act. At the same time, it is saying that critically. So what is the challenges? So what is the challenges for implementing this FRBM Act? that is also you need to speak. So that is the most important thing. In your answer there should be certain subheading which says that challenges of this FRBM Act. If it is not there, means you won't get any mark, because the question is saying that critically, which means there should be the subheading which say about the challenges for implementing this FRBM Act. That is the most important thing. Okay, so let's discuss this question. First, what were the reasons for the introduction of the FRBM Act? Simple as that, the objective. Okay, so intragenerational equity. The government is spending, okay, consider that the government is spending on the people in 2024 to 25, okay, huge spending. Okay, how they are getting the money is by borrowing activity. By borrowing, the government is getting the money and they are spending on the people. Okay, so like unemployment benefits, more subsidies, more free metro services, railway services, bus services. So by the way, the government is spending. What it will happen is, in the near future, consider it is a 2030 to 2031 budget. What the government will do is, they will reduce the spending and increases the taxes, because they borrowed a lot of money. So they will put more taxes on this generation. So to create the intergenerational equity, they created a certain act called as FRBM Act. This act give the certain targets to reduce their borrowing activities. Okay, and also the long-term macroeconomic stability, better coordination between the fiscal and monetary policy, everything there. Next, so you have to say these are the things, these are the reasons to create the transparency, to maintain the intergenerational equity, to reduce the borrowing activities, to maintain the sustainable financial management. Okay, or else you can say as that maintaining the sovereignty of the government, because if the government is continuously borrowing, means that will affect the sovereignty of the government. That is also the reason. Okay, so these are the certain things you have to list it. Next thing is, discuss critically its salient features and their effectiveness. There comes the answer. Salient features, you have to say what are the acts is saying. Okay, so first of all, this is about related to the reasons. Next is the salient feature. According to the encasing committee, they give certain targets. The government need to reduce the fiscal deficit as 2.5% of the GDP. Year on year, it will be reduced as 0.8% of the GDP. Okay, and also the reducing the revenue expenditure to certain level of GDP. Year on year, it should be of 0.5% of the GDP reduction. So these are the certain targets. So that is the salient feature of the act. You have to quote all the things. Afterwards, you have to speak about the challenges. In the challenges, you have to speak about the effectiveness of this act. In this, you have to mainly speak about the escape clause. What is this escape clause? Consider that it is a 2019. It's a COVID-19 situation. There is no economic activity happened in India. So if there is no economic activity or limited economic activity, means there will be very low revenue receipt. Very low revenue receipt. At the same time, what the government have to do is, they have to spend on the people to increases the supply of the mask, to increases the supply of the vaccination to the people, to increases the supply of the essential goods, food to the people. Because there is no economic activity, how the people will survive? So the government have to do that. For that, the government need to spend lot. At that scenario, what if this FRBM Act is acting against the government. According to the FRBM Act, there are the target you have to follow. But if the government need to follow that act, means it will be leads to the chaos in that society, because the people don't have any money to purchase any essential goods. How they will survive? So the act itself provided certain leverages to these targets, that is called as escape clause. Okay, so if there is any issue like war or national calamity, anything, at that scenario the government shouldn't follow this act. The government need not to follow this act. Okay, so that is the leverage provided by this act itself. So you have to say about this escape clause. Afterwards you have to say about the challenges of it. The challenges is the continuously the government what they do is the government is what they are doing is they continuously is using this escape clause by saying any issue. Okay, they claiming certain things are happening in India, or they will claim certain things happening in the external sector. By the way, they will use this escape clause. So that is the major challenges. And also India is a more of agriculture dependent society. In that scenario, which means agriculture dependent means major population is rest in the agriculture sector. So in that scenario, the monsoon failure is the inevitable one. It is happening continuously. In that scenario, the government need to spend the money. So what they will do is they will claim that thing and they will use this escape clause. So that is the challenges of this act. So by the way, the effectiveness of this act is questionable. Okay, so this is how you have to address this question. So these are the major issue when it comes to the FRBM Act. Okay, so this is the structure you need to follow, and if it is a critically means you have to give certain different picture of that question. That is the thing called as challenges for this question. Okay, thank you.